Hey guys, Lucid, welcome back to our game with the Foot People. It's turn 15. So, we have been doing some trading. I didn't talk about it at the end of last episode, but I sent 5 Death Gems to Nabatim, and my intention is to keep doing it. And in some ways, we're both making deals with the devil here, because we're giving each other the gem that the other wants the most. But, if you think about it, it's good for me and him, but it's bad for everybody else. So, if I can do something that's good for one of my neighbors and good for me, but bad for the rest of the world, I think I want to do that. I think it's actually like in some ways, you're like, shit, do I really want to make that trade? But I think in some ways, it's a little bit like Monopoly. You want to trade with everybody, and if you're the person who trades with the most people, and you get a bunch of y'all both have a bunch of mutually beneficial deals. Every time you make a mutually beneficial deal, it's to the disadvantage of everybody else at the table that's not involved in the deal. So you want to be in a lot of them, I think. We also gave Earth Gems to Calum. Oh no, we gave Fire Gems to Calum, and we got Earth Gems back. I do recall giving him more. Did I only have 7? Might have only had 7. I actually want to pull. Well, shit. I might have only had 7. One second, let me check. Yeah, I only had 7. So I sent 7 Earth Gems to him. I also sent my Water Gem supply to... I think I sent it to Arco. And they are going to make me Rings of Water Breathing. And we are going to need those to go take these lakes. Because this message is a bug. It's one of the bugs that popped up in the last patch, but when somebody gets defeated, it says you got defeated. Anyway, this province, I think... So we're getting a merman. I'm recruiting one here. I think I'm doing it this turn. Yeah. I didn't have it. I did it at the very end before I submitted, so I didn't have it in this backup. But we're going to be getting him. He's going to be moving in here next turn, and then he'll go take this. I think this is just empty, so the first person to send a scout or anything there gets it. I don't think I have any way of rushing there before. So, if I got a black servant, I think they're poor amphibians, but I don't have that. So anyway, this is my best hope. Get a merman, get them over here, claim that. I would like to get this before Zune. But otherwise, I should be able to put the Rings of Water Breathing on these guys, and then once these guys get Alt 2, they can do Stone Skin. And Stone Skin on top of having armor should make it where they don't really get hit. And if they don't get hit, then they're not going to take poison damage. And even if they get some poison damage, these guys can self-bless now. So, feeling pretty good about sending these guys to Thug Underwater. We'll test it in a single-player game just to make sure, because these guys are pretty hard to get, because you have to get somebody 70 XP. I haven't really showed you the stats on this guy. So they get this fucking column. It's a two-handed weapon, which is important because it means it's going to hit for a literal shit ton of damage. Because two-handed weapons are going to do 1.25 of your strength, I think, in addition to the weapon damage. This is area of effect 1, which means you can't dodge it, so it would just murder it. I mean, I would love to see an elf get hit by this. And then it does large area of effect fatigue. 5 area of effect, it's going to do 5 armor negating fatigue damage. Which worries me a little bit. I worry this guy cannot... I don't actually know how this works. I probably should look at it more in detail in a single player game. But potentially, area of effect greater than 1, you can hit yourself. I remember that was a thing with the stone sword. You could petrify yourself. I think that has an AoE petrification. And there's some other things too. You need... I think Shadow Brand, you might be able to hit yourself too. But, yeah. Be kind of hilarious if he knocks himself out. But yeah, this guy is pretty sick. I mean, this is a ridiculous unit. And the fact that it's now, the upkeep on it is super cheap. 40 gold a year, like you look how much upkeep I pay on that. That's like almost how much upkeep I pay on these guys. 22 a year. And it's the upkeep I do pay on these guys. Or almost 28. And this guy is like super combatant tier. Regen 40, so he doesn't really need to do Temper Flesh, but you know, regen, Iron Will. Or so he's gonna have regen, Fortitude. The Blood Bond, not super important when he's a solo actor. But it was important to get him here, because they do get kind of chopped up. But when you have him in a front and an army behind him, good luck killing him with Blood Bond on him. Like, even stuff like Life for a Life isn't gonna matter. But yeah, he's a big fucking beast. Okay, but yeah, we traded for 2 rings of water breathing, and we're gonna try to snipe both these. I want to get them before Relay sends idiots in to take them. Which is probably not long. It's probably gonna happen within the next 10 turns, so I need to go ahead and get on it. So that is good. We summoned our Angel Egg. So this is an Angel Egg. 5 research. It's sacred, which doesn't really matter. It increases magic scales. And that is pretty damn sweet. And we need to... So this one's in a fort. It's in Agartha, so it's going to be safe. It's when the... When it gets... when it turns bright red, we're going to cast Syzygy of Rebirth. And what that's going to do is respawn it here, and then an Angel Egg's going to pop up somewhere else, and then we're going to have to build a lab there. But in the meantime, it can research for 5, which is, you know, when you're this... Like, when you got 35, that 5 fucking counts. But obviously it was pretty expensive. We could have gotten Thinking Protozoans. But it's also going to raise the magic scales up. You can see we're already at magic 1. What I have found is with 1... and then it's going to matter how much Dominion Strength, but as my Dominion Strength gets higher, it's going to pull this farther down towards Strain. To have magic, like close to magic 3, I'm going to need 3 of these in the province. Having 1 will usually keep me pretty close to neutral scales. And then sometimes a little below, I think like teetering right below neutral. But still, that's a pretty big advantage on like these guys researching. Nobody's researching here except for this idiot, but I'm going to have a lot of researchers in Agartha, I think, as time goes forward. What else are we doing? We're site searching here with Muse Your Daddy. We're getting some of these tribesmen, because we're going to be piling up to get an army to go up here. Sorry for the cough. One thing we're going to do, we're taking this guy with the army, and he is going to come here and then move up here, and we're going to consolidate our army, because my pretender is going to be able to move out here in 1 turn with the tribesmen. So, anyway. He's going to site search, which will give me basically a free turn of site searching. If moving some of these other idiots who are slow, like the cows, we're basically going to have to wait a turn. So while we're waiting, this guy's basically going to site search. Sweaty Mandance is going to head down this way. And he's going to hopefully kill these barbs. And this has been agreed on that I get this, so it's unlikely I bump. Here we thought about kind of hanging out and continue it, like building a fort. I think we'll side search and walk back. It might slow, you know, production of our first temple or whatever, but such is life. Because yeah, I mean, we will want to get this labbed and templed, but we'll do what we can. I think 3 forts is what we're going to be with for a little bit. Once we get this, we may fort this, but then we'll have, you know, we'll have this province, because we're going to hit this fort first. We'll see. What thrones these are is going to matter a great deal to me. One thing we're doing is we're casting, he's entering the chamber of this, or roots of the earth, or chamber of the seal? Chamber of the seal. No. Hall of the oracles. So we're going to enter, and it's going to scry. We're going to scry on this one. I want to see what this one is. This one is so weak, I'm just going to take it no matter what. This one is hard. I have to do, like, cost-benefit analysis to see if it's worth it. Oh, wait, we cast it here. Oh, this is the silver throne. Shit. I didn't even know I cast it here. Okay, well, we're going to change on my current turn, because on my current turn, I'm, like, casting it again, which is weird, because I would have seen this and then still cast it anyway. 100 gold per turn. Pretty sure that is going to get hit by my income penalty. So this, unlike gems, is going to turn into like 20 gold per turn. After my 50% cut and then my shitty scales. So maybe 30. But it will give us this guy, which, I mean, this guy's kind of huge because he can do power that, like, some of these guys will be air 3, which means they can do power the spheres fog warriors, which is huge. So I do kind of want. I mean, I want, but I like. Also, one of these guys would literally, like, I can't roll for many of them. Like, getting a couple would just cripple my bank. If this one goes to somebody else, I'm not going to be terribly upset. I need to figure out which one this one is. And this one. I think this one gets claimed. We'll go ahead and look at our next turn, which is my current turn. We're upgrading our fort here. I think this was the first turn we started it. Yeah. And this will give us a tier 2 fort, because this guy's a mason. Research, I decided to go Alt 2, then Thumb 4. Alt 2 is so that my god and my super combatants can kind of... They'll be tough. They'll cast Stone Skin on themselves. And we'll be in good shape for a lot of different things. Okay. So now we'll log into my turn, and we will at least fix some of this ridiculousness. Some other news from across the pond. Apparently Pangea is trying to drive Relay back into the ocean, which I just want all of you to know that I fully support that. Okay, we have a message from Arcadia to our. I had sent him a message back. He had sent me some Diplo, and basically, oops, sorry, knocked the mic. Yeah, he had basically said that we can have peace. So I sent a message to him saying, to our south lie the vast lands of Zune, which now border you to your north. To the east, we share a border with Pangea. It seems the undersea creatures who called themselves Relay were quick to expand not only underwater but also to land, and tensions arose quickly between Pangea and the sea creatures. Does Telemonth border your west? So I'm going to send him a message back saying, I have just a smidge of a border with Talamantha and Arco to my west, but yeah, I'm hoping Pangea kicks the squids back into the ocean. And then to Arcadia. Oh no, that was to Arcadia. To Calum, I say, you got a lot of Arcadians on your border. Not sure I can help you much if they attack you, since my god doesn't have river crossing. And what I mean by that is this. This is a big fucking scary pile. And if I were Calum, I would be kind of shitting my pants a little bit. So I guess he's taking these mammoths and walking around trying to look intimidating. And mammoths can kill a lot of Meniads. I need to ask him if he knows what their bless is. Okay. So anyway, that happened. We had some battles. We'll just kind of click through them. There's a few. Here we're killing the barbs. And even though this is a kind of nothing battle, we'll watch it because I know you guys aren't getting much action in this episode. The feet going after it. Don't fuck with you. All right. Coming down. We are pinging this throne. So this is the easy throne, quote unquote. What we see is that they have conjurers, and then they have a sorcerer. So what we can expect is a small amount of skelly spam, a little bit of archer fire, and then some militia and heavy militia. This is not some. The only thing that kind of scares me, and I think it's a very small scare, but it's possible. What I think is likely is this guy's going to do 2 Horde of Skeletons and then maybe 1 Agony cast or some imps or something. And that's okay. If somehow he was scripted to Agony, Reinvigoration, Agony, Reinvigoration, Agony, Reinvigoration, that would be scary, I think. Because the big area of effect fear can kind of fuck with my army. But we should murder this. I mean, those are like famous last words, but anyway, we're not going to try to test it or anything. I'm very confident that we can take that. Battle in Golem range. Here I think we're killing villains. Okay. And then somebody has claimed to throne, too. I didn't even see which one that was. Who is it? Claim a throne of the first age. Okay, good. That's one of the thrones I don't really want. Let's see who's got one. So Arco's got one, which means Arco's got a throne-clearing army, too. Relay's got one, and then Arcadia's got one. Oh, no, but this is not really a throne. So what that means to me is if Arco has one, he's probably going to come get this one in not very long. This one I was going to site search, but apparently... Or not site search, but... I was going to do my thing. We searched this one last turn, and we found that it is indeed the Throne of Air. And this was one of the ones I really wanted, because 3 air income would be the shit. God, I keep hitting my thing. It's going to give me Windmasters, which will, first of all, are just great mages. They're Storm Immune Air 2. So they can Cloud Trapeze, do air elementals and stuff. Air 2s are super useful, in general, if they're cheap. Now, this is expensive for you, but we can still afford a couple to crank out Alquills and stuff, and just into site search. So we'd probably get like 3, maybe 2 to site search, 1 to make Alquills, and then once we have a little bit of air income, it would be 2 to make Alquills, and then 1 to site search while we wrap up. But then also our troops get air shield. And if you recall, one of the things I said we're really vulnerable to with no armor is just concentration of fire. You don't need good units, you just need a lot of units. And especially a lot of archers. So this one is like super high priority. So what we're doing is we're going to be pinging it this turn. And we're going to see what they got. This is going to be so scary. We're going to take this. I'm almost definitely going to have to test to see how we're going to do in a battle here. I just don't feel comfortable enough doing it outright. I think we'll be okay, depending on how many archers there are. I think we'll be okay. But these things you just sometimes don't know. So we'll figure it out. But I'm trying to kind of build up my army as we go. We're getting more tribesmen here. We're bringing in the tribesmen here. So, anyway, we're getting kind of bigger and bigger as we go. Even potentially I could start massing tribesmen here. Thing is tribesmen aren't great. Like, I would probably rather have higher quality units or spend my gold on other things, like boulders. But I kind of also just need raw power. And maybe I should just do this. Because I'm going to have I'll have several turns of it. Because we're going to go boom, and then next turn boom, and then next turn boom. 1, 2, 3. So we'll have 3 turns of recruitment. So this will be Almost 30 more tribesmen. The nice thing about 30 more tribesmen is it's going to allow me to do a nice thick double line. And I think double line is what I want in this this formation here. Hmm. So anyway, I mean, maybe I would even kind of want like a triple line almost, but I don't think I want a blob like a box. So, I have a couple other things I want to talk about this episode too. One of which is Arcadia. Apparently, Arcadia gets, and I don't think I talked about it last time, though I might have. I can't remember. But Arcadia gets summonable Holy Twos. I don't know how much they cost. Well, you know, we can. I'm going to pause it. We're going to pull up Mod Inspector. Okay, guys, I got Mod Inspector pulled up here. And so they get summonable Holy Twos. I'm guessing it's just these guys. Which, these guys do change scales. Okay, so it must be this spell they were talking about. So for 25 gems, though, or 24 gems, you get 4 of these. So they're about 6 gems per. And they're holy too, which is important, because I don't know if there's another way to get... I think this must be what they're talking about. One of the other players was explaining this to me. So they get a holy spell, which is charm. Basically, they can charm at holy 3. So it's like apostasy, but it's charm. The difference is it's shorter range. Thank God. It costs a fair amount of fatigue, so they can't spam the ever-living shit out of it. Also good. But it doesn't turn people into like it doesn't turn commanders into normal units, and you keep all the items on the commanders. So it's in some ways significantly more powerful. But you might notice this is Holy 3. The units we could get are Holy 2. Well, if we look at for Arcadia, if we look at their national items, they get this, which only costs 2 to forge. You have to have construction 4. But basically, it's going to make you a communion master, and it's going to give you +1 holy. So yeah, they they basically can do charm like it's their motherfucking job. And I'm are they spell singers too? I don't know if it shows it here if they're spell singers or not. I can't remember if that tag is actually in the mod inspector, but well, I mean, we could check. We pulled up. I think man has spell singers, right? Yay, man. I'm not totally sure. But the problem with this for us is that, like, if you look at our boulders, they're going to be really fucking hard to kill. They're 9 magic resistance, right? So they're going to be, like, impossible to kill through normal means, especially once we have buffs on them. But they can just charm them. So if he has, like, really tanky meme-blessed sacreds, which he certainly could have, or just an army of Neaids, and then he has people spamming charm from behind, well, we don't like that. We don't like that one bit. So what can we do to counter? Well, I mean, I think late game we have counters. We have assassins we can get in blood. But like our Protozoic amalgamations we do not want to use against a charmer. Not if we can help it. Yeah, we have assassinations we can do. I don't know if you can charm inanimate. I don't think you can. We can check. Charm's just here in Thaumaturgy. Doesn't work on mindless. But I think it does work on inanimate. I'm not sure. So we have that, but importantly, we have an enchantment. We get the Mindsmith, which casts anti-magic at the start of combat. That's our first line of defense. Our second line of defense is, well, shit. Killing things quickly, right? And the ways to do that really are get darkness up and hope they don't have dark vision. The other ways to do that are, so that's here. We can get the Diviner and then the Beholder. And that will speed up the battle, which hopefully means less charm. The other way to deal with that is we enslave his guys at the start of combat. So we go reasonably high in thaumaturgy and get this guy. But this isn't going to be out for a while. So ideally for me, Calum, I think, in some ways there's some annoying parts about fighting Calum, but I think they're a good matchup for me. So ideally, I keep Calum as a buffer between me and Arcadia, because people which are going to attack my magic resistance are going to make me very sad. Calum's going to have its own problems with Thunderstrike spam and stuff, but... And we're not really going to get great counters to that, but... At least their troops suck against me. I don't know. Maybe they're both bad. We'll see. There's a lot... Master and Slave is going to fix a lot of problems, though. A lot of problems. Anyway. Let us continue. Okay, so we're coming here. We got a free spawn. This guy free spawned, so that was kind of cool. Actually, maybe I site search with them before I move him back. There's very few Blood 1 sites, but I guess is it worth? He's only gonna be researching for well, he's gonna make Infamiliars when he gets back. But we're kind of blood slave constrained, so yeah. Now we were going to go. I think we want to see which throne this is. We know this one, we know this one, and we're about to take this one. So this one I definitely want. I would potentially be willing to fight Nabatim for them, but hopefully this is a really scary one. I doubt Nabatim's eyeing it up. Not like I am. But yeah, okay, so anyway, turn we move here, so it's 2 turns away. By the time we actually have this battle, we'll be done building this fort. What that means is I can take Bobo, I can give him all of these guys and all of these guys, and he can move up here the same turn these guys move here. Meanwhile, we'll have 30 more tribesmen here, and then we'll be able to fight this with an army of probably about 200. And I don't think I will lose that. But sometimes I amaze myself. What I can also do, because morale might be an issue, is we're getting this guy, and he casts Fanaticism at the start of combat, which is pretty nice. So, anyway, we're probably only going to get one of him. And then afterwards, we'll kind of hang tight, because they're old, they can get afflictions and stuff. And we don't really need many more of them. Like, I just need one so that I can potentially move people quickly between Agartha and you. That's the main reason right now. But it's also going to be nice to have them in a pinch for really big fights where morale might be an issue. You can see we put one of our Infamiliars on this guy. We're making another Infamiliar. Now, on one hand, I made, and I don't think I mentioned it, I summoned 2 Thinking Protozoans last turn. You can see them getting cast here. And these guys, especially when I'm you can see my magic scale faded because my Dominion is pulling it down. So we're right at neutral scales. But in neutral scales, though we do have productivity, which is important because these guys get a big old fat bonus in productivity. We're at 21 research, and then this guy's at 24. So pretty solid. And these guys, like if you look at, if I were to make these guys here where I'm drained 3 in my capital, it's like 5, right? And then this guy is 21 here, but you can see he's 24 here. So, anyway, it's good shit, basically. We're going to get some, I want to get more, but I think honestly what we're going to do is we're going to save for, Song of Palm and Foot. And what that is going to do is it's going to give us a super combatant right away, which is, I think, well worth. Basically, you spend 40 gems for them. But anyway, we're close to it. We're at 11 a turn. As we get even, so next turn I'll be at 36. Turn after I'll be at 47. Which, by then, I can trade my fire to Calum for Earth. And then I'm going to do another batch of trading Death to Nabatim for Earth. And that will allow me to put it up. So I'm really only 3 turns away from putting up Song of Palm and Foot. Now, how I'm thinking about this is that is going to give me a lot of free spawn. And I'm going to use that free spawn to turn on my blood economy. Not hugely, but some. And my blood economy initially is going to be turned into imp familiars. Because I want to really get research going. And that's not super duper efficient, but it's what we're going to be doing. Yeah, it's what we're going to be doing. So, after I have Song of Palm and Foot up, most of my Earth is going to go into making these idiots. Until we probably get to like 400 or 500 RP. And then imps going out. Once we're at 500 RP, well, I don't know. We might even go up to 1,000 RP, just pouring all of our Earth income into those. But the thing is, as we pour more income into this, we're going to quickly get through all this low-level research shit. As we do that, we'll finish Thaumaturgy. I'll then make probably, as soon as I get Thaumaturgy 4 done, we'll probably get like 4 of these Geomancers, so we'll turn off production of those guys for a minute, and then they'll go outside searching. I don't know if we're going to get Beastmasters. Beastmasters, I think, is going to be more if we're in a war. Then we're going to go head to Alteration, and then these things aren't even really worth considering, but I'm going to get like 1 Diviner. Because, why would I not? And then we're going to be heading down Enchantment. And then once I get to Enchantment, as we stop, we're of course going to get the Mindsmith to go with our main army. And then we'll get one of these guys to cast Strength of Giants, because how can we not? So we'll pick up things along the way. But what I'm trying to say by all this is as our research picks up and we start speeding through these like reasonably low-level research targets, we're going to be heading for this, for Earthblood Deepwell. And as I'm closing in on it, I want to get ready to cast it. And I think I cast it the first time just right at 80. The reason is because I can do the enchantment rebate and it won't even be 80. Because I get a 20% discount. So it's only going to be a casting of like 60-ish, 60, 64. So it will pay itself back in 3 turns. Basically, it's going to be really cheap too. So I'm not going to have to save up as long to get it, which actually is more important than the payback period, I think. So I'm not going to have to save up super long to get it, but as I see it coming in close, we're going to be turning off Earth production of the thinking protozoans, and then we're going to get this. Once this is out, we're going to be close enough to some of our other high tier research targets, like getting some of the U atlases, that it's the trade off for putting more into thinking protozoans is going to become like very painful. So on one hand, we get alt 7, I mean enchantment 7. We're going to continue probably going for enchantment 8 to get it says the harbinger. Yeah, this is a holy 5 guy we're going to get. So yeah, so we'll get him, but then after that we're going to have to basically beeline for alteration. And then ideally I get some of all of them. There's a really cool event you unlock when you get, I think there's 7 total kinds, but when you get 5 of them, and I don't know if my god counts for the 5. I can probably ask Aether Nomad, but if my god counts for the 5, which I was looking through the code for the mod, and I don't think it does. But anyway, once you get enough of them, then an event will happen, and I don't know if they have to be in the same province. But basically an event will happen, and you'll get like a mystery 6th or 7th one. And this one is he doesn't have like a special blessed thing or anything at the start of combat. He's immortal, unlike your other Mu Atlases. And there is a 6% chance every turn that he will fracture and turn into 2, duplicate. So basically, as the game goes really late, if you get these guys reasonably early, which we're not going to, I don't think, because the criteria is actually pretty tough. The easiest way to get them all early would be actually if I went like enchantment and then I went construction. And then you can get this one, Shape Mu Atlas, or maybe even this one. This one's really expensive though. But like after this, if I went Shape Mu Atlas, this will give you a random one for only 70 gems. So if I do this enough, I'll get a good one. And this is something we need to think about. I could skip alteration and go for this. That there's good things about going construction 9. I mean, not many, but I mean, it's going to unlock all the good stuff for me because I basically can get any kind of Mu Atlas from this, and I'm going to get it on the frickin' cheap. It's going to be 70 Earth Gems compared to all the other ways of getting it, which can be generally, I think, 85. Yeah. So I get a significant discount, basically. If I found a steel ovens, which I know there's one, because, oh no, I don't. This was a different game. Shit. If I find a steel ovens, then I think I will. Because I think that will give me a discount on construction spells, too. Not just items. I mean, can you imagine getting a discount on this? But this would be the fastest way to get all of them, I think. And if I get all of them, then I have the one that self-replicates. Especially if I have a high earth income but not super high research. The thing I would have to think about is what are the unique artifacts that I want. And actually, while we're at it, let me go pull it up. We can look at the unique artifacts for you, because we do get some. So national only. One of the cool things about you, and I think I mentioned this in the national overview, they get every single kind of boot, no matter the path, but they're all made for like an earth path, basically. Once we get construction 6, we can get these guys, the Ione Stones, which if we make them with the hammer, shit. If we make them with the hammer, they're only going to cost 3. And they're not going to have upkeep. And they're going to give you a penetration bonus and a research bonus. So they're useful in and out of combat. Let's read the description of these, because these are, I think, potentially important. They look like the same things we're going to use to teleport our eggs around. Okay, while they can be used by most non-blimey researchers and sorcerers, sadly, okay, wait. Since blimeys completely lack a head and can't make any use of them, but due to their generally round shape and higher mental potential, this is not the case of thinking protozoans, and for that reason they are often forced to harness the power of ion stones in order to enhance the abilities. Therefore, sharing these traits, eye tyrants can use items of that sort as well. Okay, I don't know who this is restricted to. Oh, wait, okay. So, okay, so I think this is mostly for thinking protozoans. So if I've already filled up their inventory slot with a cursed imp, then they can't use this. Eye Tyrants can use it too, which is a Blood 9 guy we get. Okay, we can put it on... I think this means we just can't put it on, like, our Priests of the Palm. Okay. Interesting. I mean, definitely useful. Having a really cheap one-pin item that also gives magic resistance seems really good. Seems really good. Because, like, if you compare it to Eye of the Void, Eye of the Void's going to give you 2, but you're going to lose 2 magic resistance. Or, yeah. So this we get 2 and we get 1 penetration? Really good. Like, and better than the Stellar Focus or whatever. The other one, which gives penetration. So anyway, that's a reason to consider going high in construction. We get the Sacred Shell, which basically we can put on our satraps from our capital. It'll make them all Holy 3. This is expensive to forge. It makes them hard to kill. Yeah. But I'm not super duper sold on it. Stone idols, the copper arm we can make, which is kind of cool. We need to put a weapon on some of our armless dudes. Like, basically the Termina don't have arms, so we would need this to give them an arm. Cataclysmic Keystone. So these are the unique items we can get. This spell, or this one can cast Earthquake. It's going to cast Stone Skin and costs 20 Earth Gems. But we can basically just crap out Earthquake, which could be pretty damn useful. And it's also going to give us an Earth Path boost too, which is pretty damn useful. The thing is, yeah, getting this will give my god an extra Earth Path, which will mean this and a Bloodstone. And my god can wear boots. So, like, if we look at my god, one of the things that's a little weird is, like, even if you take a really high Earth Bless on your god, you can't do this because it's Earth 9 to do this. This is basically the same as this, except way more expensive. So anyway, we can't do this at 5, which would be really good, but anyway, we can't do it because we don't have high enough Earth. But if I get to 8, I could do it. So potentially there's some time between 8 and 9 when I would want to summon maybe one of these. And just, but I don't know if I would. So anyway, this one is going to do Firestorm at the start of combat. And it's going to give me fire gems every turn, it looks like. Does this one give me gems? Yeah, this is going to give me fire gems every turn and put fire shield up. This one is going to do time stop and give me bonus astral. This could be kind of hilarious for like a... I'll show you which one. Oh, he's not astral. Okay. Shit. I was thinking we'd do it on this one. I mean, I guess we still could. You put it on him, it's gonna... Well, no. Who would I put it on? This is the one that self-replicates. He's immortal. He has void sanity. He's blind. Damage reversal, which is pretty sick. So the damage reversal is great for being a super combatant. So we have damage reversal, immortality, sacred, spreads dominion, which is sick, ambidextrous, which is really nice because he has... Oh, I guess he only has 2 arms, doesn't he? Yeah, 2 arms, but still. Yeah. Pretty damn cool. Reinvigoration 5 built into the chassis. That's not showing up here. Oh, it is right there. Anything else? Polymorph immune. Four, 6, 6, 6. I wonder which one that is. 1 second. I guess it twice points into itself. That's kind of weird. Okay. What does this one do? This one gives us Wind of Death at the beginning of combat, which is basically a decay check. And then Cloud of Death. So potentially, please tell me this gives me like penetration bonus too or something crazy. Cloud of Death. Auto spell repeat 1. Holy shit. See, what I'm imagining is like... This one I'm imagining on... If we got... this guy who casts Meteor Shower at the start of combat, which is going to cause these 150 boulders to drop, damage boulders to drop. Well, he has a ton of hit points, so he can take a hit or two. Especially with my Bless. Bless is really fucking good for Meteor Shower if this is the only guy in it. Part of the reason is he's going to have... yeah, basically it's going to cut it in half. So he's only going to take 75 damage. And he's going to likely regen up to full HP in between hits. So putting something like Wind of Death up at the beginning of combat 2 would be kind of hilarious. So anyway, that's an option. But I'm not sure about that. These seem like, so far they're pretty luxury. Being able to spam out Earthquake this one I would say is like not luxury, because having an additional path is useful. The Wound Find is nice. This one I would say is nice. Is it unique though? I wonder if there's actually a unique tag, or if I can actually mass replicate these. This one gives me nature. Increases growth scale. Be reborn. Okay. So if you die, you pop back up, but kind of fuck that, you know. The only thing, though, about it is if you die, if you have a Ring of Returning and this, then you're guaranteed to not die. Unless you get enslaved. And then it casts the spell Wild Growth, which I don't exactly recall. I think this is a Mass Entangle. Area of Effect 1? Oh no, Area of Effect 10. Mass Entangle. And it's an auto spell? I mean, that's not bad. It's not great. But it's also a path booster. Let's go back here and look at the items. I'm not sure if these things normally get a tag for being unique. Let's check it out real quick. You learn something in Dominions basically every day. Every day you play. Okay, not national only. Let's do generic only for a second. Let's look at Construction 8. I mean, there's no tag here for unique. So anyway, the whole reason we got on this tangent is potentially, and even after Enchantment 7, I could say we're going to beeline straight to Construction 9, and then we're just going to poop this out as many times as we can. And then I'll just find a use for them. Because all of them are kind of useful. Like the one I probably want least is the Meteor Shower one. And having that guy that can basically decimate armies is not unuseful. So, Problem is, it's going to be harder, especially at the beginning, to get exactly what I want. Does give me Weapons of Sharpness, which makes my God's Army nasty, because I could just Weapons of Sharpness my God's Army. Because what is he going to do at the beginning of combat? He's sitting there like self-buffing or something. He could just sit there and spam out Weapons of Sharpness. What else do I get? We get this one, which is kind of hilarious. I mean, this is not actually that hilarious. This will allow us to turn Angel Eggs into Infernal Bagpipes, and Infernal Bagpipes are scary motherfuckers. I would say that could definitely be worth a mid-game Angel Egg. My Angel Eggs aren't going to be super valuable until I get up to 9 and something, when I can basically do the semi-wish. Anyway, things to think about. I know I've kind of been rambling, but these are important decisions. Like which thing you end up going for makes a big difference. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.